I'm Kelsey Chittick.
And I'm October Gonzalez. And you're listening to Keep On. Hey guys, welcome to Keep On the podcast, our grand finale of a show, of an episode actually. We have had a year. We have had a great time on our last, how many podcasts has it been?
I don't want to say a number because it'll be wrong, but let's say 18, 19.
A lot of podcasts.
We kept some off because they were either awful or so good we're just holding
Just
on.
so you know, we are over analytical with every single podcast we put out there, and we are not happy with any of them. But we're so grateful that you guys continue to listen and continue to show up and support us. We're very grateful. But today we just wanted to talk about our year and what we've learned thus far and what we feel like our takeaways have been, how we've grown, and how we're going to keep on keeping on.
Exactly.
So let's open it up with a question for Kelsey. Kelsey, this year obviously has been crazy for you. I mean, you have probably grown the most of any person I know, maybe you guys as well, but you have found a love of your life, another love of your life.
Look at me
What
go.
the heck? In 2 years, you have you have been that flower that has pushed through the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids have. You guys have literally started anew and started a beautiful life. Tell us what you've learned in that process this year.
Yeah, it's funny because I think the Steve part is a big part, right? I fell in love again.
Yeah.
But I also grieved a ton during that. And I did some really amazing work around grief and my understanding of death and
Just minimal work.
minimal. I'm not afraid anymore.
That's
I'm
so
not
cool.
like I am, I can feel it, but I look forward to it and I'm finding ways to create things that I don't want to do that I'm going to do. And I see my kids doing that too. I mean, it's just, I used to really want to have it all figured out. And now I feel the opposite. Like when I was meditating this morning, I was just like, show me what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm not trying to think about it so much anymore. I'm sort of feeling it. Because what I keep reminding myself when the fear comes up now is like, look at where you were 2 years ago and how dark and scared and alone. I mean, I felt like I was on an island of hell. Like no one had ever been through what I'd been through and our life was over and we were screwed. And then these like miracles have showed up. Just
truly miracles,
hundreds
craziness
in people and opportunities and resources and friendships and just so much has changed that I didn't have to wrestle it. It just came to me. And so now I'm just kind of sitting in awe being like, what's next? If this can happen out of that, because I pretty much thought like my life was over.
Absolutely.
I was like widow at 40, a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old.
How could you not feel that way? Anybody that was in your shoes or has ever been in your shoes felt those feelings.
Yeah. And everybody felt so sad for me and my family was so sad and my kids were so broken. And I was like, will we ever be happy again? And now I'm like, oh yeah, you can be happy again. You can get through anything.
Yeah. So that you can get through anything.
Yep.
You're now fearless. You're now feeling your way through it instead of like trying to push your way through it or over plan.
Yep.
Those are big lessons.
Things.
I feel my lessons this year are pathetic compared to yours.
No. Well, your lessons and my lessons, I feel like I've learned so much from even doing this podcast. I think you and I, our big resistance to doing, we're like, I feel like we sit in and we have for most of our life, like not don't ask for too much, but we're like, we're really happy.
Yeah.
We're great.
Like it's always just like good enough.
Good enough.
You're afraid that if you ask for anything more, it might just tip it over and everything gets all over the place and gets
messy.
messed up.
Or that you don't want to be uncomfortable. Like a lot of times I don't want to push because I'm like, well, I need to be home or I need to be out or whatever it is, whatever the should thing gets in the way of you and I really going like, again, what am I here to do? And so now I think we're both catching some momentum around the fact that you don't have to think about it all the time. You don't have to make a choice. Just keep going.
See, and that's, I think, for me, I think going to Peru and kind of doing that self-searching work and that soul digging kind of exploration was the biggest lesson for me, to just kind of take a time out and really look deep into kind of the darkest parts of yourself to make the changes that you need to make. I mean, it's really scary to be alone with yourself and to go that deep into your dark little crevices of like your shit.
Yeah.
And own it and look at it and be like, what is this? What am I going to do about it? How am I going to change it? And there's obviously still things that I want to work on, which are like my cynicism. and
No, that's what we
my
struggle with though, because like our
I
cynicism
know.
and sarcasm and judgments are what I think make us great. But I'm starting to realize
Yes.
maybe,
My diary of the mouth. There's a lot of like nastiness that comes out of this mouth.
but
It's
it's so
not pretty.
funny. Here's what I'm
It's so
trying.
funny. Kelsey's like, I encourage it
I
because it's
do.
funny.
So this is what I've been thinking about lately, and I've thought about this a lot this year. Is part of our reason that we don't want to push forward, or I don't want to stop being sarcastic or judgmental. It's because I've always relied on that as a part of my personality I liked. So I
Well,
thought,
it's also a part of our personalities that everybody else likes, as
right,
long as it's not directed at them.
exactly. And but are we putting people down to bring not ourselves up, but the moment up,
The
even
moment up.
the moment up?
It will be who, I mean, like there will be a sacrificial lamb to bring the crowd up. And to me,
Every
I feel
party.
like everyone should be okay with that because it's for the betterment of the group.
Well, of course, and a lot of times it's directed at the people we love the most.
It always is.
Of course. But so now I'm starting to go like, okay, Kelsey, what if you and Toby took all the good parts of yourself and then lost the stuff that really doesn't bring people up? Could you even be funnier? Could we even be,
I don't know.
more amazing? Or does it feel like, if I take that part away, I'll lose my edge? That's my big fear. Like, what if I become nice? Will I ever be able to tell a joke again? And so right now I don't know. So I stay home a lot because I don't know how to go out in public.
You're like, I can't be negative. So I just don't leave.
I can't
So-
go to a party without thinking horrible things about not horrible, but
Horrible,
like funny
but
things.
funny things that you
Yeah,
want to
I'm
make
just
fun
like,
of.
I
But
just,
that also could be hurtful.
yes. So
Yeah.
we went to these awards at UCLA last night and they were John Wooden Awards and they were just amazing. And this
Very
woman,
cool.
Melody Hobson, spoke. She's an African-American woman and she has risen up in the finance world. She's the CEO of
Cool.
like these amazing investment businesses where women and African-American women especially aren't normally there. And she talked about three things that she said were really important. She said, be patient,
Mhm.
like take your time. She said, be brave and speak your truth. So those are like her
Okay.
three tenets. She married
Well,
George
I feel
Lucas.
like I do that.
You do that. And so what I realize is I don't know that we have to say less. We just have to be kind while we're speaking our truth.
Kinder.
And that's a place we're both working
Yes,
on.
working on it. Work in progress.
Also, she said, give people the benefit, not the doubt.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh,
SpaghettiOs.
that's going to take some electric shock therapy.
Yeah, I'm the same. You and I are very much alike and very different. So I definitely think our ideas about people and our humor and
Yep.
a lot of those and the way we raise our kids and all of that are very much aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is something we need to work on is just
being kind and saying like this person, just empathy, because I
Empathy.
think that we don't feel
compassion.
we feel different fears than other people, but like going to a party doesn't make me nervous,
No.
and going out makes me only nervous because I want to go home. But that's another thing. But it's just that I don't know, how do we use our ability to connect with people and our ability to listen to people and say the right things at the right times, use it for good.
And not be passive aggressive,
Yes.
which I can be.
Oh, I'm the worst, especially over text. I'll get you.
I'll get
I'll
you.
just be like, ding,
Be
ding,
like,
ding,
what did
ding.
that exclamation point mean or that one
100.
comma?
Because I think our brains think really quickly around how to communicate, and we know exactly what to say to bring someone up or bring someone down or make them
Yeah.
feel a certain
Or
thing.
if you just add like an LOL at the end of something, it
Yeah,
means
to
like
like-
you're joking, but you're not.
Yeah, but you're like, wink, but I wasn't. And we just do it fast. And I think, and we talked about this when we had our best friends on, but like other people don't process the same way we do. And so
No.
sometimes we can feel like we're bulldozing. And we're
Also,
going
we're not
fast.
offended. When people tell us things, we're not offended. So we feel like, why would you be
It's
offended?
because our mothers were so hard on us.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's, I mean, literally, when I think back at our childhood, although your mom passed away, my mom, I mean, she was, and this woman
She's
said this last
hardcore.
night. She's hardcore. And Melody, this woman last night said, like, she would come home and she would say, Mom, I think that woman was racist. And her mom would go, no excuses. This is
Wow.
life. No excuses.
Yeah.
And then she said that when she was 5, her mom was like, sit down. I'm Santa. I'm the Easter Bunny. I'm this.
Ooh.
Like, stop pretending that life isn't what it is.
Rough.
And I feel like our moms were like that. They just told us all the time, like, my mom still reminds me, you're not that great. I don't see why anybody thinks you're
Same.
funny.
My mom would be like, look, Miss Thing,
Yeah,
there's
right.
always going to be somebody prettier than you, smarter than you, more talented than you.
So we're not surprised by it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you don't think I'm funny? My mom doesn't either. No worries.
No
Moving
worries.
on. Yeah.
And moving on, yeah.
God.
Turn
Yeah.
the page, people. Get over it.
Yeah. So I do think we have that in common, that we were given a lot of feedback that was hard when we were younger,
Yeah.
and we could have crumbled, but somehow our souls were like, oh no, she didn't.
Yeah.
So I think that's good. I
That's
don't know, for
those
you-
are things that we can learn from, things that I think we've come. I mean, look, we're different than we were last year, and I think we
We're
are
calmer.
slowly going in the
Hmm.
right direction,
Hmm.
moving in the right direction. And so this year as well, what do you think you have? I don't know. What do you think you would like? What advice would you give other people on how to like keep going
Mm.
and just stay positive through all of this?
Now, I'm going to do this talk next week for a women's group down in Orange County, and I was thinking about how, and it's on perseverance. That's what they want us to talk on.
Mm-hmm. Perseverance. That's what it is. Perseverance.
Perseverance.
How do you tell or explain how to persevere through like the worst shit?
And that's what I was, well, and what I was thinking is it's actually the same way that you persevere through like the little annoyances in life. I think there's practices. I think there's certain things that
Mm.
you have to do each day that are pillars that will hold you up when things get wobbly. And so, and I think perseverance is a choice. But what I've realized this past year, and we've all talked about this a lot in terms of just going in internally and checking in with yourself, is now I think about it like when the going gets tough, the tough get going. That's like a big saying, right? And
Yeah.
especially when you're in sports. And now I'm like, when the going gets tough, the tough get quiet.
Like go in, go in.
Yeah, like what if we all took care of ourselves so that when we were showing up to the world and all the issues that are at hand, whether they be, in our own families or in our communities or in the world, we had more to give.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we slow down a little bit and stop running so fast and doing so much and we check in and say like, am I aligned before I start this day?
Mm-hmm.
Have I meditated? Am I clear on what my goal is today? Am I
Mm-hmm.
clear that this will pass? Do I believe that everything changes?
So you set a goal every day.
I set an intention.
Okay. And what does that intention look like? Just
It's
randomly.
just to be in the moment. That's pretty much my only thing.
Okay.
Like, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of the story. Don't
Yeah.
try to figure it out. I can feel myself when I start rushing and doing old Kelsey,
Mm-hmm.
which was just like corporate Kelsey, like running
Mm-hmm.
around, conference calls, running, da da da.
Mm-hmm.
She's running on adrenaline. She's not grounded in anything. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
reacting to everything. So now I try and be a little bit slower.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watch my ego pop up, like I'm not working right now. I've been done working for a couple weeks. And so I'm in this for the first time in my life as a adult woman. I don't have a job.
Yeah.
So old me would have just spun out on that. Like I got to work, got to have money, got to get
Yeah.
insurance, got to do my thing. And I was just like, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait and see what comes from the universe. Cause that's basically what this 2 years has taught me. Like
Yeah.
just keep doing you the best you can, learning, reading, practicing, and then just watch magic happen.
Yeah.
So I'll be waiting for the magic.
Waiting for the magic to happen.
Yeah.
That's
How about
great.
you? For what would you say with everything you've been through in terms of just the kids and Sophia getting older and having River Malia in homeschool and Nico graduating? Like, what have you learned as a mom this year?
I've learned to give myself a break. I
Mm.
put a lot on everything, and you wouldn't think because I'm a pretty laid back person, but I, when I have guests over, I'm like super anal. Like I want everything
Just
to like
so
look
nobody
nice and
knows.
look beautiful, and nobody knows. And I have expectations of like the time I want I want to spend with my kids and what I want to get my kids involved in, how many, whether they should be in a play, a dance class, a this or that. It's like, I just kind of, I'm just going with it. And if they want to do something, I just let them do it.
Yep.
I'm trying not to be so hard on myself as a mom. I realize what kind of mother I am and what kind of mother I am not.
Yep.
I am not the mom that gets on the ground and plays with my kids and plays the Barbie and make me a smoothie in your little kitchen and I'm going
No.
to drink it. Look, I sound like an awful person.
No,
but
you're
I'm
not at
just
all.
not that mom that plays with the kids in that sort of way. I'm a
You're the exact mom they
activities
needed.
mom.
Yeah.
I'm like a let's go paint mom. Let's go to the movies mom. Let's go to lunch. Let's go do the things.
Yep.
Mom. And that's okay. Like
It's actually
that's
exactly what they probably need
okay.
because they wouldn't have chose you.
I guess. Sometimes I do feel guilty, but I'm like, Malia wants to cook all the time and
Ugh.
she wants to, and also making an effort to kind of do the things that they want to do,
Yep.
even if it's not my jam, like Malia wants to cook all the time. That's all she wants to do. So I was talking to my husband and I was like, look, I think I'm gonna need to commit to like making one meal a week with Malia.
That's what I was going to tell you. If you stop having to make it a choice every week, that's what I've also
Yeah.
learned this year is don't have stuff out there in the ether wondering when you're going to cook with her. Because then if you say every
be never.
Tuesday we cook from 3 to 4, it's off your plate. You don't have to think about it. And you
Yeah.
have a time she can count on it. You can count on it. And the
Yeah.
guilt is gone. Because guilt is a wasted emotion, right?
Yeah.
Because
it
if,
is.
if you feel bad about it, don't do it.
Ugh.
Or if you don't do it, then you shouldn't feel bad about it if you're okay with
Yeah.
it. But I think that's smart. I've
Yeah.
noticed you be much more present with your kids.
Yeah.
And I know you have a lot of kids and there's
I
a
have a lot
lot
of kids.
going on and they're home a lot more than maybe some kids because they're
Yeah.
homeschooled. But I've noticed a difference.
Yeah. And it's also, you need to learn to say no to certain social things, which I have a very hard problem
That you
doing.
should work on.
Yes.
Mhm.
So balancing is really like my ultimate goal in life. I would say that this year I'm really getting my bearings because I feel like I've been in LA for 3 years. I've gotten a good group of friends, and with that good group of friends comes a lot of activities, a
And
lot of
local,
things,
so it's
and
easy to go to.
yeah, and then a lot of things my kids want to be involved in, and my kids are homeschooled, so there's the guilt of getting them out of the house. It's just a lot of things going around in
Mhm.
my orbit, and I'm just trying to balance, find a good scale of how to give and take and
Yeah.
say yes, say no, all of that.
And I think probably most women that are listening to it feel that way. There's so many options. And I think about this all the time for women. There's so much we could do. There's
Yeah.
so many choices. We can be home, we can work, we can have our kids involved in a lot and a little. But what I'm finding is it's all the choices. We're almost like overloaded with options.
Yes.
And there's
And
parties
emails
and
and
emails and
it's like
text invites and birthday parties. And so for me, at least, saying no to everything and clearing the plate and then choosing very
you
wisely.
say no to
I say
everything.
no
You
to a
have no
lot.
problem. I'm one of those people that feels guilty if I say no. Like I have this like innate need to show up for people.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably even if they wouldn't care if I even showed up. Like
They care.
sometimes
Yeah.
they care, but they don't care about every time,
Mm-mm.
and I don't need to show up all the time. But I have this thing because I think it's so important to show up for people. And I think it's important to let people know that you support them and you are there for them and whatever it is.
Yeah, and I think you
So,
have a certain energy that when you don't show up, people feel it, right? There's a void when you're not
mm,
there, and there's a sense of um, that you make a party better, and you do.
well,
There's a
thank you. I
there's an
appreciate that.
energy, but I also think it's important to sometimes just say no and just do nothing for a while so that you
Hmm.
can think and you can figure out
Yeah.
what brings you joy.
Yeah.
It was that fun or did you just go? And sometimes the answer is you just go because it's the right
Hmm.
thing to go. But are you in the moments? Are we so busy that we're running around missing everything?
Yeah.
I need to say yes more. And I'm trying, but I'm trying to be really careful about who and what I spend my time with.
God, that's a lesson in life itself.
That's been a big thing for
How to
me.
prioritize your time and who is you're going to spend that time with because as we get older, our time, I don't know why, becomes so much more valuable.
Because there's more people in it and
I
it
guess
could
and
end.
kids and family
And
and
when your best friend or your husband dies at,
well, yeah,
42, you're like, oh, wait,
life can
And
be
I think about
short.
that all the time, like with Nate. If what would he have wanted to do the days before he died? And well, he did it. He had his dad in town, his mom in town, and his kids. He took them to Sky Zone. God bless that would be where you'd spend your last
Yeah.
moments. But um, yeah, I think that I'm really aware of that. Like
Mm.
to talk to people that don't fill me up, that don't bring me
Yeah.
joy, that I feel like I'm being fake with, or I'm making fun of them in my head. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this is ridiculous. I'm not well enough yet to go be in those situations. So I'd rather be at home reading.
And can you say, I can also say that, like, I definitely have all these pulls and all these gifts I have inside me that I feel like are definitely not being completely utilized at their greatest capacity. But I'm also at a point too where I don't feel pushed. I don't feel like the need to have to do a certain thing or the need to charge and be, full throttle,
Right.
pedal to the metal to push a certain thing to happen in my life, which I never have, but like I definitely feel like
Axetol.
they're there, but I don't know. I'm just kind of one of those people or maybe I'm not one of those people. Maybe I just feel like I should allow it to blossom on its own. I'm just not the go-getter type person. It's not in me.
You
Maybe
are
not
about
this
stuff
life.
you love. And the thing
Yeah,
is, I think what we have to be careful of is saying that this is how it'll always be.
true.
This is now. And I
Yeah.
actually, when I think about loving Nate and loving Steve, and one of the things the therapist told me, this great spiritual therapist, he said, that was then and this is now. You don't have to, like, what was doesn't always have to be, and what is today will change.
That's true.
So maybe right now there's not that fire. Maybe your
Yeah.
heart calls you to be home with the kids or be with your friends. And
Yeah.
you have a good life. I think your husband did an interview with Ed Milet, and he talked about how he's like driving forward all the time and like nothing's ever good enough. And
He
it gives
is.
me a little anxiety because that type
Yes.
of energy, I feel like I could fall into that. But it was amazing the stuff he's accomplished.
Yeah.
And he said his wife is just really happy raising her children well. And that's beautiful too.
It's an energy that you take on too when you're married to somebody who has that kind of energy. So his wife, because he is the way he
She
is,
balanced it
has
out.
to find the
Hmm.
balance in that family dynamic to make it all work. And
Totally.
so being married to Tony is kind of like, that's how I feel. I like, he's so go that it almost like it comes back to me in a way that I'm
Your
like,
breaks.
ooh, no, like
Yeah.
chill, like calm down. Everybody needs to like center.
Well, it's the balance
So
of that
it's interesting.
energy in
Yeah.
your marriage. And I think why I feel it because Nate was so go about
Hmm.
like big dreams, doing stuff that I just was like, ooh, I'll just stay inside. And now I feel like there's a little more space for me to go because there's someone holding
There's space for you.
the,
There's
the,
room for
yeah,
you to
the
go and
balance side. Uh-huh.
do and be something different.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's good or bad. It's not like I'm
No, it has,
angry at him for being who he is. It's the path we're on right
yeah.
now. It's where he's at in his life, and I'm, trying to counterbalance.
Yeah. And this woman last night, she was 44 when she got married,
Yeah.
Melody Hobson. So she's had this amazing career. And then she married George Lucas,
Hmm.
who was 70. And then she had a baby via surrogate.
Damn.
And she's now 40, 50. I don't know. I'm messing up the ages, and she has a 6-year-old daughter. And, I'm starting to say, like, okay, Kelsey, maybe you raised your babies. You had kids when you were 26,
Hmm.
got married when you were 24.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe you're going to back half this thing. You're going to back half this mother effer. Like, career wise.
Yeah.
Like, okay, my son's gonna be gone in 4 years. I'll be 46.
Young.
Like, what if it's game time for me then?
Who knows?
And
That's exciting.
yeah, and if we're all living till 100, so I've got a good 50 years to really crush it. So for some reason, this awareness that, I'm kind of closing out the parenting
Mm,
journey. I've got, 7 years, 6, 7 years left.
it's crazy.
And then I'm gonna go because I am pulled to home. I'm
I
pulled to my
know.
kids. I'm pulled, especially with everything that happened. But if I'm honest, I always was.
And I always ask myself too, I mean, at the end of the day, is it your legacy that is most important to a person? Is it the way you leave the world? Is it the mark you leave on the people around you? Is it your family? Like, how do you want to be remembered? Who do you want
I
around
know.
you? Like, for me, eh, I don't care about being remembered as this amazing, you know, television person or host
Right,
or
right,
whatever the things that like I
right.
could go and do.
Beat Shazam.
I know. Well, it's like those are all fun and great, and I do
Right.
feel like I'm using a creative side of me, and it's an outlet and all those beautiful things. But it's not the core of what my purpose is and what fulfills my heart and fills
Yeah.
my soul.
I think about that because I love Nate's memorial was so big and so many kind words were spoken, and it
Hmm.
almost felt like what they said at his memorial made his life worth something because what he would have loved was to hear all the things that those people said. That would have
Mm,
been a full life for him.
totally.
For people to share what they did about, what they felt about him at 42, I
Mm,
was like, damn, like if I died today, people would be like, well,
that's
she
not
didn't
true.
volunteer. She never helped at the ice cream social. She was always tired by 9 and she was quite judgmental. And I'm like, I hope that shit's not over yet. Like I literally sometimes I'm like, I can't be done. If I died tomorrow, it'd just be like people being like, she was fun sometimes.
See, and you know what's weird is I think about it all the time, and I feel good about it.
Of course you do, because
I
you
feel
have
good.
self-confidence like a geyser inside of
I don't
you.
know why, but I feel like people would be like, she always reached out to me.
You did.
She always showed up for me. And maybe my life's purpose is to show up for people and to be there for people and to love people and make people feel
You make people
validated
feel
and
good.
good.
You do.
God, there's not a better feeling I get.
And the reason you make people feel good, though, this is the tricky part. It's not something your belief in your goodness and the joy of this life, it just transfers over to people. It's not that you're blowing smoke up them saying like, you're
Mm-mm.
amazing, you're beautiful, you're wonderful.
No.
Just your love for them makes them go, well, if this amazing woman loves me, then I'm worth something.
Well, I accept you for all of the
Yes,
things.
you do.
And the dirtier and grimier it is, the more I love
As long
you.
as we call it out first.
Yes.
Yes, I totally agree. No, there's an ease to being around you because you're fine with everything. Like I don't get nervous about canceling with you. I don't get nervous about anything. Now I do get nervous like my hair's not done or we go somewhere and you're like,
okay, my outfit is a problem.
yeah, because especially if
No.
we have to take a picture together and you're going to be like, oh, could you just step to the left a little bit? We're going to take these girls from Beverly Hills. We're going to push El Segundo. Oh, did you not make it in the frame?
Shut up. I have never done that.
No, but you are like, get your hair done before
I
we
am,
go out.
yes.
Yeah, so I do think that. I think it's important to stop all the time and say, like, what would people say tomorrow? And I sure as hell
Yeah.
hope I don't die soon because I've got a lot I want to do. Like
I
I
know
feel this desire inside me that is so huge that it feels like this tsunami of stuff I want to do and write and speak.
you do.
But it's just
I
not,
know
it's
it's
not there
there.
yet.
You know why? It's because your kids are still at home. You're such a good mom. You're such a committed mom. I feel like they keep bringing you back home.
Cancer, they
They
do.
keep bringing you home.
I just don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss their stuff.
Your primal animal is a snail, and they take their home
know.
everywhere
I
with them.
know.
It's hard for you to break out of
Yeah.
your shell, but I think once the kids are like literally once both of them get to high school and they're like,
yes.
peace out, mom. Like we
Well,
have our
they're
own
even
lives.
like, get a job, lady.
Right. You're gonna have an easier time moving and pushing
Yep.
like through that wall.
And the other thing I've learned this year is I'm not going to sell out on a job. Like I've sold out. I've sold at Harper Medicine. I've sold psychiatric meds. I've called on hospitals. I hate hospitals.
We're like, these are all the
I've
things
been
you
in
hate.
all these things. I've been in sales. Like I'm not doing that anymore.
Good for
I'm
you.
waiting for the thing that makes my heart sing.
Hell yes. And I think that that's
I don't
something
know.
we should all do.
If we can, for
if
sure.
you can do something you freaking love.
Yeah. So I'm not going to rush this one because I think my old Kelsey would have just like need to fill the gap, fill the gap, fill the
Fill
gap.
the gap because you're like everything has to be
Yeah.
planned and organized and set up perfectly.
Yeah, and I have this new idea because all of our kids are like getting braces and all of them are getting their teeth moved around. And I realized like the first thing you do before you fix your teeth is they pull them all and make space.
Yeah.
And so there's this really wonky time when you look at your kids and they have like
Messed up
braces
grills.
and there's all these gaps, but the gaps are there and necessary so that the right lineup can happen.
That's a great analogy.
And they've got it, and then you don't get to choose when the tooth comes in. It comes in when it
Damn well pleases.
damn well pleases. And isn't that amazing? Like you make the gaps and then you wait.
Yeah.
And so right now I'm like, I got gaps.
I got gaps for
career.
days.
I got gaps, but I'm looking forward to seeing what fills them. And I'm trusting that if I meditate and I'm clear and I see it and I feel it before it happens, it's going to come and I'm going to be like, yes.
And I think that should be like the theme going into this next year.
Yeah.
Is to keep going, keep meditating, keep pushing through, keep recognizing what those walls are that we need to break down in front of us. And keep going.
Yeah.
Just don't stop.
I love our title. And we thought about it before we even thought about it.
I know.
But what have you learned relationship wise? I know you and Tony have had a big year.
Big year.
Which has been beautiful to watch.
Yeah. And I think I explained some of it. We've been married a long time. We've been through a lot. It's ebbs and flows. And I think that we hit our first, ebb.
The water went out.
Whatever that is. And I think when you get through those dark places, you come out higher than you've ever been before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when people, throw in the towel or give up or, over stupid things, which let's be honest, not all things are stupid, but they are.
Right.
Like they really truly are.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the feelings don't last forever. That's the interesting thing about feelings. It's they don't last forever. And you know this very well. You to where you were last year to where you are now, you never thought you'd get over those feelings.
Never.
And you always do. You always get through them. You always get over them. You always think differently a year from, a year along. And it's just interesting to think about the growth that happens and what you feel. I mean, if you kept a diary in high school and you went back and read it, you'd be like, what the heck?
Oh my God.
You'd laugh at
Bobby.
yourself. And the same thing goes for now. I mean, the feelings that we're feeling right now, the woe is me or any bad feeling or any like hardship you're going through in your marriage or your relationships, you're going to look back on a year from now and be like, oh my God, what the heck? Like, how could I ever even have thought this or believed that or whatever it is? And I'm so grateful for the, I mean, it's cliche, but I'm grateful for the dark places. I'm grateful to have come out of a place because I think it's given us a deeper understanding of ourselves.
Yeah.
A deeper understanding and appreciation for each other, a gratitude for one another that is like, I can't even explain the gratitude that we've gained for each other and respect based on, I think, both of us willing to put in the work.
Yeah. And you guys work and you dug in. And I think the key, at least from what I see based on you two, is just a brutal honesty that everyone has to be willing to go to. I mean, you got to say it.
We hold nothing.
And you know what's so great about that is then your body doesn't have to hold on to it.
No.
It all gets out. It's on the table. It's ugly. It's messy. It's hurtful. It's painful. But what you guys both are clear on is each of your stuff is your stuff. It's not the other person's stuff.
That's exactly right.
Like you put it all on the table and you're like, actually, that's yours. That's yours.
Yeah, let's
that's
divvy
yours.
this shit up.
And
That's
it's
yours.
That's yours. And whenever you think it's the other person, it's yours. Because you can't say it without it being yours. Now, you might have certain adjustments that you request and certain, as you grow as couples, I think we all say, like, is there any chance you could just, and you guys have done that really well, that like, I'm going to honor that this is something that you're asking of me to feel more connected or more loved. And and you're going to honor that you're bringing this to me from your perspective. So there's something that's triggering you that I'm doing. So although I will watch this behavior, can you check into where it's coming from?
Yeah. And let's just get it straight. No one annoys us more than our spouse.
Well, it's because the one person
except for our mother-in-law or our mother.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That's a whole other Oprah.
That's season 3.
Nobody bothers us more than each other. We're with each other. We live together.
And you're supposed to push each other's buttons because it's about growth.
It's about growth.
Because it's easy to be alone. And I'll tell you, this is something I've also learned. There was a period where I was alone. Yeah. I did whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted.
Just I could slept go out, like a starfish in your
sleep like a starfish.
Bed.
I didn't care. I wasn't picking up on anybody else's energy when they came home. I raised the kids the way I wanted to raise the kids. Nobody was watching me.
How was
Nobody
that? Was that delightful?
Lovely.
Magnificent.
I mean, and I'll tell you what I've realized is that, there's something to being alone that's really powerful and wonderful. And and I see a lot of really strong women choosing that, especially as they get older in their 60s and 70s.
Jane Fonda.
She's lot of people.
Actually, I've realized that I like
but thank
me.
you, no. Mm-hmm. I like me and I like to do what I want when I want because I think we are givers and we are always taking care of everything. But what else I will tell you is getting involved in a relationship again and a deep one and a spiritual one and one that's work is that it's easy to hide your faults when you're alone because no one's calling you on them. So it's safe. And but I think at the age of 40, it'd be too early for me to throw in the towel and just be like, I'm good.
No, but I think you could definitely throw in the towel. And that's probably why men die before us.
Of course they do.
So that
we need a break.
We can just breathe and have a minute for
Of course.
I want some pink wallpaper. I want to drink when I want to drink, wear face masks, eat all the snacks.
I mean, the Golden Girls were so far ahead of everybody.
I know.
And I think it'd be cute if the Golden Girls had an apartment and then all the husbands lived next door.
Oh God, that'd be a dream.
And
Actually, I think that I'm going to do that.
It's so
I'm
great.
going to invest in a complex Melrose Place, so all of us old ladies can grow old together.
Yeah, and you come
we
and
could
go.
have cabana boys. We could all have our own separate apartments, and then just
the husbands can play golf and they come visit, and it's wonderful. And there's just an ebb and flow. But right now, I believe doing it with someone is beautiful. I believe it's the way it's meant to be, at least for me. I'm sure there's other people that believe totally different for them. But I have checked in with my snail self, and I like doing life with people and a
partner,
and not just anybody. I like doing it with Steve.
Oh,
and he calls me on my stuff, and there's some deep stuff because we didn't have a lot of time for fluff.
Thank God he calls you on your stuff, and thank God Tony calls me on my stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know if he feels the same, but I call him out a lot.
Yeah,
I'm the biggest.
I think that's why I love you. Actually. Yeah. So what do we hope for next year? Like as you go into 2020, which I can't believe it. Like you remember when we were growing up, there was that news thing. It was like 2020. And now I'm like, no, it's that. Like it's so
2020.
It's so
Justin Timberlake's album.
Of course it is. It's here. And
it's here.
So what are you afraid of and what are you excited about for next year?
What am I afraid of? Well, I guess my fear is always the same. My fear is always being in the same place I was the year before.
Okay. That
I don't want to be here.
Michael Beckwith used to say that. He would say, when you sit in this church a year from now, I pray my only wish is that you are not the same person you are right now. Like you better have done some work.
I want to at least I want to have changed. I want to have done some work on myself. I want to keep pushing through boundaries, pushing myself.
What does that look like?
That looks like doing the work I mentioned, growing, trying to look at the darkest places of myself and trying to tweak them and better myself and be a better mom, be a better wife, be better for me and you recognize how to utilize my gifts in ways that work and in my lifestyle and how to balance it all.
Yeah.
How to balance it all.
You know what you should do is write down your gifts because they're so clear.
Yeah.
And then just put them somewhere.
Yeah.
And say how do I, God, help me use these. And then let it go. Kind of take it off your plate.
Into the universe.
Just put it down and say these are the gifts I know I have. You let me know
Right.
how you want me to use these.
I'm an
And
open vessel.
I can't
Use
figure
me.
it out. Peach Shazam. Wait, what was the
And
quote?
anyway, October, hit it.
October, hit it.
Yeah.
Boy, did you ever. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to, look, my kids are my greatest gift.
Yeah, they are.
Let's be honest. I'm just excited to see them grow and develop into the people that they're developing into. I'm excited to travel with them. I'm excited for new experiences, see the world. Seeing the world with my family is my favorite thing
That's when you
on
guys are at
earth
your
to
best.
do.
I'm so lucky to be a part of it some of the
I
time.
know. I'm so glad you come with us.
Yeah. And I think for you, you're hitting that spot. Sophia's a little young, but you're about to hit the honeymoon phase of parenting.
Yeah.
This sweet spot where your kids are capable. They're not going to get hit by a car most of the time.
Yeah.
They can make their own food. They can wake up. You can trust them. And there's this beautiful period where you're about to go into where River will be 10.
Yeah, he'll be 10 this year.
And she'll be 12. And so this is like they're still home, but they haven't quite hit that spot yet where
Crazy.
the mouth is off, or, they're not, the fighting hasn't happened, or the disrespect, or the rolling eyes. Like you're right in that great spot.
Yeah.
And I remember being glad that Nate died when they were in that good spot.
Oh,
Because then we had a little time before it got more gnarly.
right in that sweet spot.
Yeah. Before puberty.
God help us all.
I know.
And what about you? Your fear and what you're looking forward to?
I'm not, my fears aren't big like they used to be in the way that I can think of it. My fear is that I will forget what I've learned. That I'll forget all the things I've been through, and I'll get back to numb, and I'll get back to comfort, and I'll start wanting things to just be easy.
On like autopilot.
Yeah, and I'll just like be happy and have a new life and like go back to my old ways, and I won't.
I don't think any of us will allow that.
I won't quantum leap. I want a quantum leap out of this. I want people to be like, wow, that's the same Kelsey, but boy, she's totally different.
Yeah, but you have people in your life that would call you out.
Mostly you and Michelle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we would
And my mother. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
those are the people that love you, and we won't allow you to get back into that.
No.
And Steve would never let you.
No.
So look, you've set yourself up pretty well to succeed.
Yeah.
And I see that happening.
That's what I hope. And I'm most looking forward to just, and I'm not even going to knock on wood because I believe it, but I feel like I've come through one of those big life transformations, and you do get kind of like a breathing space. And I want this next year to be less about just pain and sorrow and tears. Like I've cried a lot in 2 years. I mean, it's just been, I gave up Botox for a while, and you were like, bad idea. And you were right. But I thought like, oh, I should take a break from it. And then I looked at my face and I was like, oh, somebody's been crying for 2 years and things aren't what they should be. Froze the whole top of my face, never felt better.
You look great.
Thanks. But I want a little lightness. I'm going for lightness and forward motion. Like, let's go, people. Like, let's
do this.
I sat in my robe for like 12 months, a robe from Ralph's at a grocery store. Like I sat in that on a couch, and I cried, and I sobbed, and I journaled, and I wrote, I want to write this book. I want to finish it. I want to close this chapter on the story of what grief looks like, and then how you can come over it, and like how you can support friends, and it's not bringing casseroles, because no one likes casseroles. FYI.
Yes, Kelsey.
Yes,
all this.
Bring Chick-fil-A, baby.
This is good.
Yeah. So that's what I hope for. Hope to build a new family, new memories,
Any babies in our future?
Negative ghostwriter. Not even close.
Thought I just throw it out
yes,
there. Just to see.
No, I mean, God bless that. And I'm not called to do that. My uterus says no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, uterus. I accept that. But that's great. And I think that's a good way to close out this year.
Yep.
Just keep going, guys. Keep learning. Keep pushing through. Ask yourselves what you are most fearful of in the next year and what you're most looking forward to. And I like the idea of writing down your gifts. Write down your gifts and maybe put it somewhere where you can look at them every morning. Maybe not somewhere where like everybody sees them, because that might be uncomfortable. I am so awesome. I am a great singer. I am a great mom. Like it might be weird and like egotistical looking, but
no, I think it's
put it like in your closet or put it in your mirror where you do your makeup.
From now. And see if just writing down your gifts and calling it and saying them out loud and literally reading them out loud by yourself, see if that doesn't cause a vortex of energy for the universe to go, oh, you see it. Okay, now you own it. Let's go.
Love it.
So I love doing this with you.
I love doing this with you, and I can't wait to do it again. And I can't wait for you guys to come back and listen more and onto our next season.
Yes.
Season 3.
Season 3.
Keep on. We love you guys. We're so grateful for all your love and support. And we look forward to seeing you soon.
So no matter what you do, don't forget to
Keep on.
keep it on.
Thanks for listening. Please comment and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Keep On Podcast. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Keep On, where you can see full videos of each episode. Rate and comment on Apple Podcasts. We would love to hear from you.